This session is about producing a two-point perspective drawing. We base our drawing on a orthographic projection, which will be this projection we're showing at the top here, and we're going to try and develop that into a two-point perspective. We've got the dimensions at the top, so let's start producing our drawing. Okay, so the first thing we do is we put on our horizon line. This is, in terms of what we're viewing, the line between the earth and the sky. Where you place it on your paper will depend to quite an extent on the size of paper you've got and the type of drawing you're working with. But I think in mind, I've already prepared this a little bit. I think mine's going to come around about here. So that is my horizon line. Now the next thing that I do is I place on here a plan of the item that we're going to draw. This plan goes at 45 degrees to the horizon line. So there's my horizon. We need the size of the plan is going to be 400 because it's 400 wide and a meter deep. We'll be doing this to scale. The first thing we do is we put on our first line at 45 degrees. Puts it along there, and we just check that for scale. We just scale up. We're going to be working to a scale of 1 to 10, so check it along there. Okay, that's our meter, comes just there. Okay, our next line will be there. We'll check that line. That needs to be on our scale of 40, which it is. Now we just need to fill it in. So we'll put another line down to the bottom. Now when you come to do your drawing, you'll be using a very much lighter pencil than the one I'm using, because these are construction lines. And you really don't want these to show on the end of drawing. The reason I'm doing them dark is so that you can actually see it on the camera. Okay, so we've now got the plan of our cabinet set at 90 degrees at the top here. We've got our horizon line on. What we want to do now is establish our vanishing points. So I've actually started by putting a vanishing point here. So we're going to call that vanishing point 2. On this side we've got another vanishing point here. We're going to call that vanishing point 1. The vanishing points should be in what we call a cone of view, and that's the cone of view across this angle here, and that should be 90 degrees. So if we take a line from vanishing point 1 down, we'll find that it comes down here, like so. That's our first one. Our next one comes down to here, and that's from vanishing point 1. This is the space inside which we construct our drawing, and that's our field of view. That distance across there is our cone of view or field of view. What we now need to do is put a ground line on. This is the line on which our item is theoretically standing. And I'm thinking that we can move up to around about, well, on our scale of 1 to 10, about 35 up. So we'll put a light ground line on. It'll be darker for you. It'll be lighter for you, sorry. And I'm going to put in at the front of our cabinet now, the vertical line up here, which is the front of our cabinet. So here's the front. This line will form the front of our cabinet, which is going to sit down there like that. The last thing that we do, well, the order is to some extent irrelevant, because we need to put this vertical line in, which is at the centre of our drawing. I'm going to put it in fairly light. And that centre of that line we can put in before we put in our cone, but it's better to put it in before. So we'll put that down there, and it needs to cross where our cone, our vision cone actually crosses down here, because this is our station point. And that station point is technically where the viewer's eyes are when we actually come to view the picture. in theory, that is where the person viewing the cabinet is going to be standing. Okay, so that's our station point, vanishing point 2, vanishing point 1, and the horizon. Okay, all good. Now we need to establish the size of our cabinet within this cone. So the first thing we do is we take that top corner and we bring it down to our station point. We don't need to take it all the way because we're really only interested where it intersects our horizon line. Same for this side. We bring that line down through the corner where it joins our horizon line. We put a little mark. What we now need to do is drop those down, like so, and we put this line here will go back to that. That'll form the side of our cabinet and it will go to that vanishing point. So I'll put that line in. We needn't go all the way, we only need to go to there, because now we need to put it, finish off the side of our cabinet, and he's going to come down to there like that. Okay, we can now drop down. Well, we can put the baseline in here actually first. I think we can put this baseline in. We'll put the baseline in. This is the front of our cabinet, and it's going to run along here. Could be the front of our cabinet. It's going to run along there. We can go all the way, but there's no need to. But it would disappear into that vanishing point. And now, from where that strikes, we just drop a line down. Now we're starting to establish our cabinet. We've got the side of our cabinet, we've got the front of our cabinet. All we need to do now is the top of our cabinet and to actually place the top of our cabinet in. Then we can do the rest of the work that we need to do. So now we can scale this. We can scale measuring up this front vertical. And we can scale, as we're scaling it 1 to 10, we're going to use our 1 to 10 scale, and we're going to measure a metre on there, which is just there. That's the point. That's the top of our cabinet, because overall we've got a metre. We've got 900 for the cabinet and then 100mm for the feet. And we're just going to take that back to vanishing point 1, put a line in there, like so, and then we put a line in this direction for the front of the cabinet, like so. We can take a line back this way for that back edge of the cabinet. We need one final line to establish the top of our cabinet along there. Now do bear in mind, as I said earlier, the lines that I'm using are much darker than the lines that you'll be using at this stage. Just light lines are what you need when you come to your drawing. So now we've got the top of our cabinet, side of the cabinet, front of the cabinet. We now need to put on the line where the actual feet begin. So we'll just put that in. That's 100mm up. Again, we're scaling to 1 to 10. So we're just going to measure 100mm up, or the equivalent. That's going to come there, and that, we're not going to worry on the side because we're not going to show them on the side. We're only going to show them on the front. So that line will then go to vanishing point 2. So we'll put that line in there, that's vanishing point 2, and that's where our feet will be, along that line. Whilst we're doing this, it's worth putting in the thickness of the fronts of our cabinet. That's that part there and that part there. They're 20mm thick, those. So scale 1 to 10 again, and we're going to put on a mark. And I'm going to measure along here. I find that gives me a much better detail. So measure along there, 20mm. Along here 20mm, like so. Now just raise those verticals now. Go from that corner up, and the same from this corner. We're just going to take that corner up as well. So there we go, that's pretty well spot on. What we want to do now is put in the dimensions for our drawers. Now they're going to be all vertical. We've got 20mm to start with at the bottom. So again, we put on our ruler. We're going to mark in our first 20mm, which is going to be there. like so. And then we've got 226. Which is there, plus 20 mil, which is about there. And then we've got 215. Which is there, plus 20 mil. Just there. Then we've got 186. Which is about there, another 20 mil on top, and we finish with 20 mil at the top. So those are the rails for the front of our cabinet. We can now put those in, go into the vanishing point 2, just line them in, and we'll keep them between the uprights so that we don't have quite so much rubbing out to do. We'll put one in there, next one up. Again, we're going to be working to that vanishing point. Like so. Put to that one. Next one in. Do remember that you'll never ever scale off this drawing. It's not for scaling off, it's really just to provide a pictorial representation. Okay, all we need to do now is establish the correct position for our handles and our feet. We know that our feet are at 120 and 90, and we know that our handles are at 270 and in the middle of the drawers the other way. So we can establish that by measuring along this line at the top here. So, I'll just find the right scale again. First thing we do is we mark on. I might come that way, might make my life a little bit easier. We got 270, which we'll put it there. 270 the other way. Just going to put it there. Then we've got for our feet, we've got 120. Which is there, and 90, which is there. We'll do the same down here, 120, which is there, and we want 90. Life easy, put that there. So that's the position of our feet and the position of the vertical part of our handles. So we'll put our feet in first. The longest line is going to go to the top. So we've got one there and one there. And down here we've got the smallest one there, and the next one there. And then our handles go on. Put one handle there, 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 and this handle of course goes here. Okay, we're just marking our feet now. We just put them across the angle. And there. Final one here, which looks a little bit smaller due to the angle that we're drawing it at. I'm just going to tweak that round slightly. Just make it look a bit fuller. There we go. Right, now the next thing we've got to do is just put in our handles in the opposite direction. So we just mark on the handles down here. And we've got me looking for the scale again, and we're going to just pop that in there. Are we looking at around about 24 there? So that's going to be 12, little mark. This one we've got around about 20, so 10-ish. Down here, 15, 16, 17, 19, is there about there somewhere, and the final one is 17, it's 18, so right about there. Okay, so all we need to do is just put our crosses across here now. You can use the square or a ruler, it doesn't really matter, but we are going to go from there through our vanishing points. Little line, just to establish the position of our handles. When we've done this, we can line in our drawing. We can line in our drawing with a ink pen. I've got an ordinary ink pen that we're going to do that with. Doesn't need to be I'm not using particularly a special drawing pen, I'm just going to use an ordinary pen. There it is. So now we've got our cabinet actually established. And what we need to do now is line in the bits of the cabinet that we want to keep when we finish the drawing. So I might start, but I will start with the verticals. So in I go with the line there. I'm going to put this vertical here. Remembering the stop at the bottom. Put this one in. I might as well put that foot in there. Try and get the angle of this foot slightly, getting a little bit of distortion there, but get the best we can. Now these lines go back to our vanishing point, so it's just a case of lining them in as accurately as we can. So there's one there. Trying to keep it neat. When I've completed this bit, I shall rub out the pencil lines. The issue that you always got when you're using soft pencils like I've been using on here, tends to get the paper a little bit dirty. So if you can avoid using a soft pencil, it's better. But I've had to use a soft pencil here to get the depth of colour so that you can actually see what I'm doing. So we are getting there. It's looking okay. Put tops in. Everything goes back to those vanishing points. So, I've got to put the handles in actually, but I'll come back and do that in a sec. Through this vanishing point. So, through that vanishing point. So, there we go. A vertical there that I missed, so I'll put that one in now. It goes down there. I'll just put the little verticals in for the handles. Try and make them sort of neat, sort of well balanced crosses. Like so. And then literally, oh, bother. And then finally, we'll put in the last vanishing points up this way. Just on the handles. And then of course the next thing we need to do is just rub out the pencil lines. So we'll just rub out the pencil lines over the drawing in a minute or two once I finish this bit, and we'll have a look at the drawing that we've actually got, what we've ended up with. But this is the basic principle for producing a reasonably well balanced 2-point perspective. So there's our drawing. Now we just need to check that we've actually rub out our pencil lines. Try and make it reasonably clean and tidy. It's starting to look better. Just rub them out. Quite hard to lose when you've made them dark. So when you come to do it, remember yours are going to be really nice and light. No soft pencils, nice hard pencil, so you produce a really sharp, clean drawing with no marks on it. So just get a hanky or a brush if you've got one, wipe it off, make sure that you've lined everything in. I can just see a couple there that I've not lined in, so we'll do those now. Just to finish it up, there's one down there, like so. We've got one down here as well, we'll do that. So, there we go. And I've just got the bottom of the feet, which you're going to pop in now as well. Bearing in mind that these are fairly well, there's quite a lot of distortion, especially when the one towards the back. There we are, I'm just going to try and rub that through. When you come to do it, use something like a 2H pencil. Get really light lines so it's ever so easy to erase, make it look really nice. I wouldn't be able to erase a great deal more than that at the moment. Let's just brush it off. Now you can see if we erased all our lines, we'd have quite an attractive two-point perspective of the cabinet that we wanted to produce. Okay, that is producing a two-point perspective.